The air is crisp, the morning mist hangs low, and a sense of untamed beauty permeates the landscape. As the sun begins its ascent, casting long shadows across the dew-kissed plains, a figure emerges from the ethereal haze. It is a creature of immense power and presence, a symbol of the American wilderness, the American bison. With its shaggy dark brown coat, a massive head crowned with formidable horns, and a gaze that seems to hold centuries of wisdom, the bison commands respect and ignites the imagination. This is a creature that has roamed the grasslands of North America for millennia, a testament to endurance, adaptability, and the raw power of nature. The American bison, often referred to as the buffalo, is a sight that evokes a sense of awe and wonder. Its sheer size is impressive, with males or bulls weighing up to 2,000 pounds and standing 6 feet tall at the shoulder. Their massive heads and humped shoulders are unmistakable, giving them a distinct and formidable profile. The bison's thick coat, which can vary in color from dark brown to almost black, provides insulation from the harsh winters of their native habitat. Their horns, which curve upward and outward, are not just for show, they are formidable weapons used for defense and for establishing dominance within the herd. The bison's presence is not merely physical, it is deeply intertwined with the history and culture of North America. For centuries, Native American tribes relied on these magnificent creatures for sustenance, clothing, and tools. The bison were an integral part of their way of life, their migrations dictating the movements of entire tribes. Their hides provided shelter, their meat sustained them, and their bones and horns were crafted into tools and ceremonial objects. The relationship between the Native Americans and the bison was one of deep respect and interdependence, a harmonious balance between humanity and nature. However, the arrival of European settlers in North America marked a dramatic shift in the fate of the American bison. What was once a thriving population, numbering in the tens of millions, was driven to the brink of extinction in just a few short decades. The bison, once a symbol of abundance and untamed wilderness, became a target, a victim of the relentless westward expansion and the insatiable greed that fueled it. The once vast herds that roamed the plains were decimated, their numbers dwindling at an alarming rate as hunters slaughtered them for their hides, their meat, and even for sport. The scale of the slaughter is difficult to comprehend. Millions upon millions of bison were killed, their bodies left to rot on the plains, a grim testament to human cruelty and short-sightedness. The motives behind this mass extermination were complex and multifaceted. For some, it was a lucrative business, as bison hides were in high demand in the East. For others, it was a way to eliminate a perceived obstacle to westward expansion, as the bison were seen as a hindrance to agriculture and settlement. And for some, it was a deliberate tactic of warfare, a way to undermine the Native American tribes who relied on the bison for their survival. The consequences of this ecological catastrophe were far-reaching. The near extinction of the American bison had a devastating impact on the Great Plains ecosystem. As a keystone species, the bison played a crucial role in maintaining the health and diversity of the grasslands. Their grazing habits helped to control the growth of certain plant species, while their hooves churned the soil, promoting the growth of others. Their wallowing created depressions that collected water, providing habitats for a wide range of plants and animals. The loss of the bison sent shockwaves through the ecosystem, disrupting the delicate balance that had existed for centuries. Yet, even in the face of such devastation, the story of the American bison is not without hope. From the ashes of near extinction, a remarkable comeback story has unfolded, a testament to the resilience of nature and the tireless efforts of conservationists. Through a combination of federal protection, captive breeding programs, and the establishment of national parks and wildlife refuges, the American bison has been brought back from the brink. Today, while their numbers are still a fraction of what they once were, bison herds can once again be found roaming the grasslands of North America, a symbol of hope and a reminder of the importance of conservation. The recovery of the American bison is a testament to the power of human intervention when it is driven by a desire to right past wrongs and to preserve the natural world for future generations. It is a story that highlights the importance of understanding our interconnectedness with nature and the need for responsible stewardship of our planet's resources. The bison's journey from the brink of extinction to a slow but steady recovery is a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is always the possibility for renewal and restoration. The American bison, a creature synonymous with the untamed spirit of the West, is a true titan of the plains. Its sheer size and imposing presence command respect and evoke a sense of awe in all who encounter it. A fully grown bull bison, standing 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing up to a ton, is a sight to behold. Its massive head, adorned with a thick mane of dark brown hair, seems almost too large for its body, and its powerful legs, ending in sharp hooves the size of dinner plates, can carry it across the landscape with surprising speed. The bison's body, perfectly adapted for life on the open range, is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. Its thick coat, made up of 2 layers of hair, a dense woolly undercoat and a longer, coarser outer coat, provides insulation from the harsh winters and scorching summers of the Great Plains. Its humped shoulders, formed by elongated vertebrae, give it a distinct profile and house powerful muscles that allow it to graze for hours on end, its massive head lowered to the ground. Despite its size, the bison is a surprisingly agile creature. It can run at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, its hooves pounding the earth with a thunderous rhythm that can be felt from a distance. This combination of size, strength, and speed makes the bison a formidable opponent, and even predators like wolves and grizzly bears are wary of attacking a full-grown adult. The bison's most striking feature, apart from its sheer size, is undoubtedly its head. Framed by a thick mane of dark brown hair that falls over its eyes like a shaggy curtain, the bison's head is a masterpiece of intimidating design. Its broad forehead slopes down to a pair of piercing dark eyes that seem to hold within them the wisdom of centuries spent roaming the vast expanse of the American plains. Below those soulful eyes, the bison's most formidable weapons are on full display, a pair of massive horns that curve upward and outward, like scimitars forged from bone. These horns, which can grow to over 2 feet in length, are not merely for show. They are used for defense against predators, for settling disputes within the herd, and for sparring with rivals during the breeding season. The sound of 2 bulls clashing horns during a rutting battle is a primal sound, echoing across the grasslands like a clap of thunder. The bison's nose, broad and black, is highly sensitive to the scents of the prairie, allowing it to detect water sources, potential mates, and approaching danger from miles away. Its muzzle, framed by a fringe of coarse hair, is constantly in motion, sniffing the air and testing the wind for any sign of change. The bison's massive head is supported by a thick, powerful neck that seems almost too short for its body. This powerful neck, covered in a thick mane of hair, allows the bison to lower its head with ease, grazing for hours on end without tiring. It also serves as a battering ram, capable of delivering bone-crushing blows to any creature foolish enough to challenge its dominance. While the American bison shares certain similarities with other large bovids like domestic cattle and the Asian water buffalo, several key features distinguish it as a unique and remarkable species. One of the most noticeable differences is the bison's massive head and humped shoulders, which give it a much more robust and imposing profile than its domesticated cousins. The bison's coat is also distinctive. Unlike the sleek, often patchy coats of domestic cattle, the bison's coat is thick and shaggy, providing insulation from both cold and heat. The color of the coat can vary depending on the time of year, with bison sporting a darker, almost black coat during the winter months and a lighter, more reddish-brown coat during the summer. Another key difference lies in the bison's horns. While domestic cattle typically have longer, more curved horns, the bison's horns are shorter, sharper, and curve upward and outward in a more distinctive manner. These horns, coupled with the bison's massive head and powerful neck, make it a formidable opponent in a head-to-head confrontation. Perhaps the most significant difference between the American bison and its domesticated relatives is its temperament. While domestic cattle have been bred for centuries for docility and manageability, the American bison retains a strong sense of wildness. It is a creature that has never been truly tamed, and its unpredictable nature is a reminder of the untamed spirit that once roamed free across the vast expanse of North America. Despite its imposing size and formidable weaponry, the American bison is not a creature of constant aggression. In fact, much of the time, bison are surprisingly docile and even placid, particularly when undisturbed. They are often seen grazing peacefully in meadows, their massive heads lowered to the ground as they methodically consume the grasses and sedges that make up their diet. Bison are social animals, living in herds that can number in the hundreds or even thousands. Within these herds, there is a clear social hierarchy, with dominant bulls leading the group and protecting the females and calves. However, even within this hierarchical structure, there is a sense of community and cooperation. Bison calves are playful and energetic, often seen frolicking and chasing each other across the plains under the watchful eyes of their mothers. The bison's gentle nature is perhaps most evident in their interactions with their young. Bison mothers are fiercely protective of their calves and will go to great lengths to defend them from any perceived threat. They are also incredibly nurturing, spending hours each day grooming their calves and teaching them the ways of the herd. While the American bison is certainly capable of defending itself when necessary, it is not an animal that seeks out conflict. It is a creature of peace, content to roam the grasslands and live out its days in harmony with its surroundings. It is only when threatened or provoked that the bison's true power and ferocity are unleashed, a reminder that even the gentlest of giants can become a force to be reckoned with when pushed too far. While the American bison is a unique species, it does have a distant relative across the globe, the Asian water buffalo. Though separated by continents and possessing distinct physical characteristics, these two bovids share a common ancestor and exhibit fascinating parallels in their adaptations to their respective environments. The Asian water buffalo, as its name suggests, is well suited for life in and around water. Its sleek, dark coat and splayed hooves allow it to navigate muddy terrain and swim with ease, while its long, curved horns, often exceeding 6 feet in length, serve as formidable weapons against predators and rivals alike. In contrast to the American bison's preference for the open grasslands, the Asian water buffalo is often found in densely vegetated areas, such as swamps, marshes, and river valleys. Its diet consists of a wider variety of plants, including grasses, aquatic vegetation, and even tree bark. Despite their differences in appearance and habitat, the American bison and the Asian water buffalo share a common ancestor, highlighting the incredible adaptability of bovids to diverse environments. Both species have played integral roles in the cultures and livelihoods of humans for millennia, serving as sources of food, clothing, and draft animals. However, unlike the American bison, which faced near extinction in the 19th century, the Asian water buffalo remains relatively abundant, though certain populations face threats from habitat loss and hunting. Across the vast expanse of the North American plains, the American bison once roamed in numbers so vast that they seemed to stretch to the horizon. These magnificent creatures, titans of the grasslands, lived a life intrinsically linked to the rhythms of nature, their movements dictated by the seasons and the availability of food and water. They were nomads of the plains, their very existence a testament to the ebb and flow of life in one of Earth's most iconic ecosystems. Unlike their modern-day counterparts, confined to national parks and wildlife refuges, the bison of the past were free to roam over vast distances, their migrations shaping the landscape and influencing the lives of countless other species. Driven by an ancient instinct, they followed the greening grasses, their hooves tracing paths that crisscrossed the continent. These migrations were not random wanderings but carefully orchestrated movements, guided by an intricate understanding of the land and its resources. The bison's nomadic lifestyle was essential to their survival. By constantly moving, they prevented overgrazing in any one area, allowing the grasslands to regenerate and thrive. Their hooves, like living plows, churned the soil, aerating it and promoting the growth of a diverse array of plant species. Their droppings, rich in nutrients, fertilized the earth, creating fertile ground for new life to flourish. The bison's migrations were not without their challenges. Predators such as wolves and grizzly bears shadowed the herds, waiting for an opportunity to pick off the weak or the unwary. Rivers and streams, swollen with spring runoff, presented formidable obstacles, testing the bison's strength and determination. Yet, despite these challenges, the bison persevered, their nomadic spirit an enduring symbol of resilience and adaptation in the face of a constantly changing world. The life of a bison was intimately intertwined with the ebb and flow of the seasons, each period bringing its own unique set of challenges and rewards. Spring, a time of renewal and rebirth, saw the birth of countless calves, their wobbly legs and playful antics bringing a sense of joy and vitality to the herds. The plains, once brown and dormant, erupted in a sea of green as new grasses sprouted, providing a bountiful feast for the hungry herds. As spring gave way to summer, the bison herds migrated to higher elevations, seeking out cooler temperatures and fresh grazing lands. The calves, growing stronger by the day, learned the ways of the herd, mimicking their elders as they grazed and wallowed in the dust. The summer sun beat down, casting long shadows across the plains as the bison sought shade under the occasional lone tree, or sought respite in the cool waters of a river or stream. Autumn brought with it a sense of urgency, as the days grew shorter, and the first hints of winter appeared on the horizon. The bison, their coats thickening in preparation for the coming cold, began their migration back to their wintering grounds, often covering hundreds of miles in search of sheltered valleys and areas where the winds blew less fiercely. The once lush grasslands faded to shades of brown and gold, the last vestiges of summer clinging to life as the bison prepared for the lean months ahead. Winter was a time of hardship and survival. The bison huddled together for warmth, their thick coats providing insulation against the biting wind and snow. Food became scarce, forcing the bison to paw through the snow to reach the dry grasses beneath. The weak and the elderly often succumbed to the elements, their passing a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of life on the plains. Yet, even in the depths of winter, there was a sense of hope, a knowledge that spring would eventually return, bringing with it the promise of new life and the continuation of the cycle. Within the vast herds that roamed the plains, a complex social structure governed the lives of the American bison. Far from being a chaotic mass of individuals, bison herds exhibited a remarkable degree of social organization, with established hierarchies, intricate communication systems, and a strong sense of community. This social structure, honed by millennia of evolution, was essential to the bison's survival, allowing them to thrive in a harsh and unforgiving environment. At the heart of the bison's social structure was the matriarchal family group, typically consisting of an older, experienced cow, her daughters, and their offspring. These family groups, often numbering between 10 and 20 individuals, formed the basic social unit of the herd, providing stability and a sense of belonging. The matriarch, a wise and respected leader, guided her family group, making decisions about where to graze, when to move, and how to best protect the vulnerable calves from danger. During the breeding season, typically from July to September, the bison's social structure underwent a dramatic transformation. Mature bulls, their massive heads and necks swollen with testosterone, challenged each other for dominance, their bellows echoing across the plains. These battles, though often fierce and visually impressive, rarely resulted in serious injury, as the bison's thick hides and powerful horns provided ample protection. Once dominance was established, the bulls gathered harems of females, fiercely guarding them from rivals. The air crackled with tension during this time, as the bulls, their eyes bloodshot and their manes bristling, asserted their dominance at every opportunity. The calves, oblivious to the drama unfolding around them, continued their playful antics, their mothers keeping a watchful eye out for any sign of danger. To navigate the challenges and complexities of life in a large herd, American bison evolved a sophisticated system of communication that relied on a combination of vocalizations, body language, and scent. This intricate language, often subtle and easily missed by the untrained eye, allowed bison to convey a wide range of information, from warnings of impending danger to expressions of affection and reassurance. One of the most recognizable bison vocalizations is the bellow, a deep, resonant sound that can carry for miles across the open plains. Bulls use their bellows to challenge rivals, attract mates, and assert their dominance within the herd. Cows, too, will bellow, though their calls are typically higher-pitched and less intense than those of the bulls. These maternal bellows are often used to call to calves, express alarm, or warn other members of the herd of potential danger. In addition to vocalizations, bison rely heavily on body language to communicate. A raised tail, for example, is a sign of alertness or aggression, while a lowered head and pawing hooves can signal irritation or a challenge. Bison also use their horns to communicate, rubbing them against trees, the ground, or even each other, to leave scent markings or to signal their presence. Scent plays a crucial role in bison communication, particularly during the breeding season. Both bulls and cows have scent glands near their eyes and on their hooves, and they use these glands to deposit pheromones, chemical signals that convey information about their sex, age, and reproductive status. These pheromones, undetectable to the human nose, play a crucial role in bison courtship and mating rituals. The American bison's role in the ecosystem extended far beyond its imposing presence. As the dominant herbivore on the Great Plains, the bison played a crucial role in shaping the landscape and influencing the lives of countless other species. Their grazing habits, their wallowing behavior, and even their dung all contributed to the health and diversity of the prairie ecosystem, making them a keystone species vital to the balance of life on the plains. The bison's grazing habits had a profound impact on the composition and structure of the grasslands. As large grazers, bison preferred grasses and sedges, consuming vast quantities of these plants each day. This selective grazing helped to prevent any one plant species from becoming dominant, creating a mosaic of habitats that supported a wider variety of plant and animal life. Their grazing also helped to control the spread of woody plants, preventing the encroachment of forests and maintaining the open grasslands that characterize the Great Plains. Bison wallows, shallow depressions created when bison roll on the ground, were another important feature of the prairie ecosystem. These wallows collected rainwater, creating temporary ponds that provided habitat for a variety of aquatic insects, amphibians, and birds. The bison's wallowing behavior also helped to distribute nutrients in the soil, as they picked up and transported soil and plant material on their bodies. Even bison dung played a vital role in the prairie ecosystem. Bison dung, rich in nutrients, provided a valuable source of fertilizer for plants. It also served as habitat for a variety of insects, which in turn provided food for birds and other animals. The presence of bison dung on the prairie attracted dung beetles, which buried and recycled the dung, further enriching the soil and promoting plant growth. The arrival of European settlers in North America marked a turning point in the history of the American bison, a tragic shift from an era of abundance and harmony to one of relentless exploitation and decimation. As settlers pushed westward, driven by dreams of land, wealth, and a new life, they brought with them a different set of values, one that viewed the natural world as a resource to be exploited rather than a sacred trust to be stewarded. For the American bison, the arrival of the Europeans spelled disaster. The once vast herds that had roamed the plains for millennia, their hooves beating a path across the continent, became targets, their very existence perceived as an obstacle to the relentless march of progress. The settlers, armed with advanced weaponry and fueled by a sense of entitlement, saw the bison not as fellow creatures but as commodities, their hides, meat, and even their bones representing potential profits in a burgeoning market. The early encounters between settlers and bison were often marked by a mixture of awe and greed. The sheer size and power of the bison astonished the newcomers, who marveled at these hairy elephants that seemed to rule the plains. Yet this admiration was often tinged with fear and a desire to conquer, to prove their dominance over these wild beasts. As the number of settlers grew, so too did their impact on the bison population, the once unfathomable herds beginning to show the first signs of strain. The introduction of the horse, brought to North America by the Spanish in the 16th century, further tipped the scales against the bison. Mounted on horseback, hunters could easily outmaneuver the bison, driving them into tight formations where they could be slaughtered with ease. The horse also provided a means to transport the bison's valuable hides and meat back to eastern markets, creating a lucrative economic incentive for their destruction. The 19th century saw the westward expansion of the United States reach a fever pitch, fueled by a potent mixture of national ambition, economic opportunity, and a belief in manifest destiny. The idea that the United States was destined by God to expand its dominion across the entire North American continent. This expansion, however, came at a terrible cost to the indigenous people and the natural world, particularly the American bison, which became a casualty of this relentless pursuit of progress. The construction of the Transcontinental Railroad, hailed as a triumph of engineering and a symbol of American ingenuity, cut through the heart of bison territory, further fragmenting their habitat and making them more vulnerable to hunting pressure. The railroad also facilitated the transportation of bison products to eastern markets, creating a demand that far outstripped the bison's ability to reproduce. The U.S. government, eager to secure its hold on the West and to subdue the Native American tribes who resisted encroachment on their ancestral lands, adopted a deliberate policy of encouraging the slaughter of bison. Military leaders recognized that the bison were essential to the survival of the Plains Indians, providing them with food, clothing, shelter, and tools. By decimating the bison herds, the government could effectively starve the Native Americans into submission, forcing them onto reservations and paving the way for white settlement. General Philip Sheridan, a key figure in the Indian Wars, famously declared, "Let them kill, skin, and tan until the buffalo is exterminated, as it is the only way to get rid of the Indians." This chilling statement reflected the prevailing attitude of the time, one that viewed the bison not as sentient creatures deserving of respect, but as obstacles to be removed in the name of progress and civilization. The mass slaughter of the American bison in the 19th century was not a random act of nature or an unfortunate consequence of westward expansion. It was a calculated campaign of annihilation driven by a toxic combination of greed, prejudice, and a profound disregard for the natural world. Commercial hunters armed with high-powered rifles and driven by the lure of profit descended upon the plains, transforming the once thriving bison herds into killing fields, their actions leaving an indelible stain on the history of the American West. The methods employed by these commercial hunters were as efficient as they were ruthless. They often targeted herds during their migrations, when the bison were most vulnerable, driving them into box canyons or other natural traps where they could be easily slaughtered. Others would position themselves near water sources waiting for thirsty bison to come to them, their rifles turning the life-giving waters into pools of blood. The hunters, often working in teams, would fire volley after volley into the tightly packed herds, the air thick with the smell of gunpowder and the sound of dying animals. The ground would be littered with carcasses, many left to rot where they fell, their hides and choice cuts of meat taken, the rest left for the scavengers. Such was the scale of the slaughter that eyewitness accounts describe the plains as being carpeted in bison bones, the stench of death lingering in the air for miles. The railroads played a pivotal role in facilitating this mass slaughter, providing not only access to bison hunting grounds but also a means to transport the bison's valuable hides and meat to eastern markets. Special trains, known as hunting excursions, were organized, carrying wealthy tourists and trophy hunters west to participate in the carnage. These excursions, often advertised as adventures of a lifetime, turned the tragic demise of a species into a macabre form of entertainment. The scale of the bison slaughter is difficult to comprehend, the numbers so staggering that they defy easy visualization. In the early 19th century, an estimated 30 to 60 million bison roamed the North American plains, their vast herds a testament to the abundance of nature. By the late 1880s, fewer than 1,000 bison remained, their once thundering hooves silenced, their presence reduced to a handful of scattered remnants clinging to survival in remote corners of the West. The railroads, which had facilitated the bison's demise, now became the grim witnesses to their near extinction. Photographs from the era show train cars piled high with bison hides, their once lustrous coats now dull and lifeless. At processing plants, mountains of bison bones rose skyward, a macabre testament to the insatiable appetite for bison products. The bison's bones, once discarded as waste, became a valuable commodity, ground into fertilizer or used in the manufacture of fine china. Even the skulls, their empty sockets staring out from beneath a crown of horns, found a market, shipped east to be used as decorations or curiosities in Victorian homes. The sheer volume of bison remains boggles the mind. In 1873 alone, it is estimated that over 2 million bison were killed, their hides and meat shipped east, their bones left to bleach under the prairie sun. The railroads, which had once pulsed with the energy of a nation expanding westward, now carried the weight of a species driven to the brink, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels a somber counterpoint to the silence that had descended upon the plains. The near extinction of the American bison had a profound impact on the Great Plains ecosystem, its absence leaving a void that reverberated through the food chain and altered the very landscape of the West. The bison, a keystone species, had played a vital role in maintaining the health and diversity of the grasslands, their grazing habits, their wallowing behavior, and even their dung contributing to the intricate web of life that defined the prairie. With the bison gone, the delicate balance that had existed for millennia was disrupted. Grasses that had once thrived under the bison's selective grazing now grew unchecked, choking out other plant species and reducing the overall biodiversity of the plains. The bison's wallows, which had provided habitat for a variety of aquatic insects, amphibians, and birds, dried up, their life-giving waters vanished. The absence of bison dung, a vital source of nutrients for the soil, further impoverished the land. The dung beetles, which had relied on the bison's droppings for food and breeding grounds, disappeared, their absence disrupting the natural cycle of decomposition and nutrient recycling. The loss of the bison also had a devastating impact on the Native American tribes who had long depended on these animals for their survival. The bison had provided them with food, clothing, shelter, and tools, their very way of life intricately linked to the rhythms of the herds. With the bison gone, the Plains Indians were robbed of their primary source of sustenance. Their cultures and traditions shattered, their very existence threatened. The near extinction of the American bison stands as a stark reminder of the destructive potential of human greed and indifference, a cautionary tale etched in the annals of environmental history. The echoes of this ecological tragedy continue to resonate today, serving as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all living things and the need for responsible stewardship of our planet's precious resources. The bison's story is not just a relic of the past. It is a story that continues to unfold, its lessons as relevant today as they were a century ago. As we grapple with the challenges of climate change, habitat loss, and the ongoing extinction crisis, the bison's near demise serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of ecosystems and the need for proactive conservation efforts. The recovery of the American bison from the brink of extinction is a testament to the resilience of nature and the power of human intervention when guided by a desire to right past wrongs. However, the bison's story is far from over, its future inextricably linked to our own. The challenges facing the bison today are different from those of the past, but they are no less daunting. Habitat loss and fragmentation, disease, and the ongoing effects of climate change all pose threats to the long-term survival of this iconic species. The bison's story is a reminder that conservation is not a destination but a journey, an ongoing commitment to ensuring that these magnificent creatures continue to roam the grasslands for generations to come. The mountains of bison bones that once littered the plains, a grim testament to human greed and short-sightedness, have long since been reclaimed by the earth, their presence marked only by the occasional weathered skull or scattered rib bones that emerge from the soil like ghostly reminders of a bygone era. Yet the lessons etched in those bones remain as relevant as ever, their silent testimony urging us to learn from the mistakes of the past and to chart a more sustainable course for the future. The near extinction of the American bison teaches us that our relationship with the natural world cannot be one of unchecked exploitation and dominance. It is a relationship that demands respect, humility, and a recognition that we are part of a delicate web of life, our actions having far-reaching consequences for ourselves and for generations to come. The bison's story also highlights the importance of conservation, not just as an act of preserving the past but as an investment in the future. The efforts to save the bison from extinction, though initially driven by a sense of remorse and a desire to right a past wrong, have yielded benefits that extend far beyond the survival of a single species. The bison's return to the grasslands has helped to restore ecological balance, enhance biodiversity, and reconnect people to the natural world. The lessons etched in the bison's bones are not ones of despair but of hope, a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the enduring resilience of nature. The bison's story reminds us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, there is always the possibility for renewal and restoration, a chance to rewrite the narrative and to create a future where both humans and wildlife can thrive. As the 19th century drew to a close, the American bison, once a symbol of the boundless wilderness, teetered on the precipice of oblivion. The vast herds that had darkened the plains for millennia had been reduced to a scattering of remnants, their once thundering hooves silenced, their presence a mere whisper on the windswept grasslands. Yet, even as the bison neared the point of no return, a glimmer of hope emerged, a testament to the enduring spirit of both nature and humankind. Amidst the despair and the destruction, a handful of individuals recognized the magnitude of the loss and dared to believe that the bison could be saved. These early conservationists, driven by a mix of remorse, a love for the natural world, and a recognition of the bison's ecological and cultural significance, began advocating for their protection. Their efforts, though initially met with skepticism and resistance, marked the beginning of a remarkable comeback story, a testament to the power of human intervention when guided by a genuine desire to right past wrongs. One of the earliest champions of bison conservation was William Temple Hornaday, a taxidermist and zoologist who had witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of the bison slaughter. Hornaday, appalled by the senseless destruction, dedicated his life to raising awareness about the bison's plight and lobbying for their protection. His efforts, along with those of other like-minded individuals, eventually led to the establishment of the first bison reserves, small pockets of protected land where the remaining herds could begin the long road to recovery. The creation of these reserves, though a crucial first step, was only the beginning of the bison's long journey back from the brink. With their numbers decimated and their genetic diversity severely compromised, the bison faced an uphill battle for survival. Disease, habitat loss, and the lingering effects of inbreeding all posed significant threats to their long-term viability. It would take decades of dedicated effort, scientific innovation, and a commitment to collaboration to ensure the bison's continued existence. The early 20th century saw the emergence of a new era in bison conservation, one marked by a growing understanding of the importance of scientific management and the need for collaboration between government agencies, conservation organizations, and private landowners. The bison, once viewed as a hindrance to progress, began to be recognized as a vital component of the prairie ecosystem, their presence essential to the health and diversity of the grasslands. In 1905, a group of concerned citizens, recognizing the need for a coordinated effort to save the bison, formed the American Bison Society. Led by Hornaday and other prominent figures, the society played a pivotal role in advocating for the establishment of national parks and wildlife refuges where bison could roam freely, protected from hunting and habitat loss. Their efforts led to the creation of several iconic parks, including Yellowstone National Park, Wind Cave National Park, and the National Bison Range, which became sanctuaries for the beleaguered species. As the bison population slowly began to rebound under federal protection, a new challenge emerged: the need to manage these burgeoning herds and to ensure that their grazing habits did not negatively impact the delicate balance of the prairie ecosystem. Scientists and park managers, recognizing that the bison's historical range had been drastically reduced, began experimenting with different grazing strategies, using controlled burns and rotational grazing to mimic the bison's natural movements and to promote the growth of native plant species. The lessons learned from these early experiments in bison management laid the foundation for modern conservation practices, highlighting the importance of adaptive management, scientific research, and a holistic understanding of ecosystem dynamics. The bison's recovery, though still ongoing, stands as a testament to the power of collaboration, innovation, and a commitment to preserving the natural world for future generations. The recovery of the American bison from the brink of extinction is not just an ecological success story. It is a testament to the enduring spirit of the Native American tribes who have long revered these animals as sacred and who played a pivotal role in their survival during the darkest days of the slaughter. For these tribes, the bison represents far more than just a source of food and materials. It embodies their history, their culture, and their spiritual connection to the land. As the bison neared extinction in the late 19th century, many Native American tribes refused to participate in the slaughter, recognizing the profound spiritual and ecological consequences of their demise. Some tribes even took in small herds, protecting them on their reservations and preserving the genetic lineage of these sacred animals. Their efforts, often overlooked in the annals of history, were instrumental in ensuring that the bison's story did not end in complete tragedy. In recent decades, there has been a growing movement to restore bison to tribal lands, recognizing the importance of these animals to the cultural and spiritual well-being of Native American communities. Tribes across the West have been working tirelessly to establish bison herds, often partnering with conservation organizations and government agencies to acquire animals, build fences, and develop management plans. These tribal bison herds represent more than just a return to traditional ways of life. They symbolize a reclaiming of cultural heritage, a restoration of balance, and a commitment to healing the wounds of the past. The bison, once a source of conflict and exploitation, is now a symbol of unity, a testament to the power of collaboration and a shared vision for a future where both people and nature can thrive. As the American bison has made a remarkable comeback from the brink of extinction, a new challenge has emerged: preserving the genetic integrity of the species. The vast majority of bison alive today are descended from a relatively small number of ancestors, the survivors of the 19th century slaughter. This genetic bottleneck has led to concerns about inbreeding, reduced genetic diversity, and increased susceptibility to disease, all of which could threaten the long-term viability of the species. To address these concerns, conservationists and scientists have been working tirelessly to identify and conserve genetically pure bison herds, those with minimal evidence of interbreeding with domestic cattle. Historically, bison and cattle were known to hybridize, producing offspring known as beefalo. While beefalo may exhibit desirable traits for livestock production, they lack the unique genetic makeup and ecological adaptations of purebred bison. Identifying genetically pure bison herds is a complex and challenging task, requiring sophisticated DNA analysis and careful examination of historical records. Researchers have been collecting blood and tissue samples from bison across North America, comparing their genetic profiles to those of museum specimens and historical records to determine their ancestry. The discovery of several genetically pure bison herds has been hailed as a major victory for conservation efforts, providing a source of valuable genetic material for future breeding programs. These herds, carefully managed to prevent interbreeding with cattle, represent a vital link to the bison's evolutionary past, and offer hope for a future where the species can thrive with a robust and diverse gene pool. The recovery of the American bison has sparked a complex and often contentious debate about the meaning of wildness in a world increasingly shaped by human activity. As bison herds expand beyond the boundaries of national parks and wildlife refuges, they inevitably come into contact with human settlements, agricultural lands, and other areas where their presence can lead to conflict. In some areas, bison are welcomed as symbols of the West, their presence a source of pride and a boost to tourism. In other areas, however, they are viewed as a nuisance, their grazing habits damaging crops, their massive bodies posing a threat to livestock and even humans. This clash of values has led to heated debates about how best to manage bison populations, with some advocating for culling or relocation programs to reduce conflicts, while others argue for coexistence strategies that prioritize the bison's right to roam freely. The debate over bison management often hinges on differing interpretations of the concept of wildness. Some argue that true wildness requires complete separation from human influence, a hands-off approach that allows nature to take its course. Others contend that in a world where human activity has already profoundly altered the landscape, a more pragmatic approach is necessary, one that recognizes the need for human intervention to manage wildlife populations and to mitigate conflicts. The controversy surrounding bison management highlights the challenges of balancing human needs with those of wildlife in an era of rapid environmental change. It is a debate that is likely to continue for years to come as we grapple with the question of how to coexist with large, charismatic megafauna in a world where the boundaries between wildness and civilization are increasingly blurred. The story of the American bison is a testament to the enduring power of nature, the destructive potential of human greed, and the possibility of redemption through conservation. From the brink of extinction, the bison has made a remarkable comeback. Its resurgence a symbol of hope and a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, there is always reason to believe in the resilience of the natural world. As we look to the future, the fate of the American bison remains inextricably linked to our own. The challenges facing the species, habitat loss, climate change, disease, are the same challenges facing countless other species across the globe. The bison's story, however, offers a glimmer of hope, a reminder that through conservation, collaboration, and a commitment to coexistence, we can create a future where both humans and wildlife can thrive. The bison's return to the grasslands has not only restored ecological balance, but has also rekindled a sense of wonder and connection to the natural world. The sight of these magnificent creatures roaming free, their hooves beating a path across the prairie, their bellows echoing across the windswept plains, is a powerful reminder of the wildness that still exists within us all. The bison's story is far from over. It is a story that continues to unfold, its chapters yet to be written. The choices we make today, how we manage our lands, how we address climate change, how we choose to coexist with the natural world, will determine the fate of the bison and countless other species that share our planet. Let us strive to create a future where the American bison, a symbol of resilience and the untamed spirit of the West, continues to roam free for generations to come. The American bison, with its imposing size and unpredictable nature, is a creature that commands respect. Yet, in our modern age of social media and the insatiable thirst for the perfect selfie, some seem to forget that these are wild animals, not photo props. The result? A steady stream of cautionary tales, often ending with a surprised tourist nursing bruises, a damaged ego, or worse. Yellowstone National Park, a haven for both bison and those eager to witness their majesty, has become the epicenter of these close encounters. Imagine this. You're strolling along a boardwalk, enjoying the serene beauty of a geyser basin, when out of the corner of your eye, you spot a massive, furry form. A bison, perhaps seeking a shady respite or a tasty patch of grass, has decided to grace the path with its presence. Now, common sense dictates that you give this impressive creature a wide berth, right? Well, common sense and the siren call of social media fame don't always see eye to eye. And so it is that year after year, park rangers at Yellowstone find themselves shaking their heads at the antics of visitors who seem to believe that bison are simply oversized, cuddly cows. Tourists have been known to try to pet bison calves, a decision no mother bison would look kindly upon, to attempt to shoo bison off the road as if they were stray dogs, and of course to pose for selfies with these unsuspecting megafauna. The results are often predictable, occasionally hilarious, from a safe distance, and always a stark reminder that a healthy dose of fear and respect is essential when navigating the wild. The allure of capturing that once-in-a-lifetime shot, the one that will garner countless likes and envious comments, can cloud judgment. But a bison selfie is never worth risking life and limb. These majestic creatures, for all their seeming docility, are equipped with horns that are not just for show, and a surprising turn of speed when provoked. Remember, a zoom lens is your friend, and no social media post is worth a trip to the emergency room. In the age of smartphones and ever-present cameras, it's no surprise that the American bison, a creature that seems to embody the spirit of the Wild West, has become an internet sensation. From dramatic footage of bison charges to hilarious clips of these massive beasts disrupting traffic, the internet is awash in bison-related content, much to the delight and occasional terror of viewers worldwide. One particularly popular genre of bison video is the bison versus car standoff. These videos, often captured by bemused onlookers, typically feature a line of cars stopped dead in their tracks as a bison, seemingly unconcerned with the inconvenience it's causing, decides to take a leisurely stroll down the middle of the road. Horns honk, engines rev impatiently, but the bison remains unfazed, a testament to the fact that in the wild, right-of-way is often determined by who has the most impressive set of horns. Then there are the bison charges, those heart-stopping moments when these massive creatures, their hooves pounding the earth like thunder, decide to express their displeasure, often with a display of speed and power that belies their bulk. Tourists, caught off guard by the sudden eruption of activity, can be seen scrambling for safety, their screams echoing across the landscape as the bison thunders past, leaving a cloud of dust and a sense of awe in its wake. Of course, no collection of bison videos would be complete without the occasional blooper reel. These light-hearted clips, often featuring bison engaging in unexpected or humorous antics, serve as a reminder that these creatures, for all their imposing presence, are also capable of moments of levity, whether it's a bison calf playfully headbutting its mother, a group of bison engaging in a spirited game of dust bathing, or a lone bison seemingly perplexed by a picnic basket. These videos bring a smile to the face and remind us that the natural world is full of surprises. Yellowstone National Park, with its geothermal wonders and breathtaking landscapes, is a place where the wild and the human world intersect in ways that are both exhilarating and at times unnerving. And perhaps no resident of Yellowstone embodies this duality more than the American bison. These majestic creatures, once driven to the brink of extinction, have made a remarkable comeback within the park's protected boundaries, their presence a testament to the power of conservation, and a source of both wonder and trepidation for the millions of visitors who flock to Yellowstone each year. For those accustomed to the manicured lawns and predictable wildlife encounters of urban parks, Yellowstone can be a shock to the system. Here, the bison roam freely, their movements dictated by instinct and the rhythms of nature, not by the convenience of humans. They graze alongside roads, amble through campgrounds, and even take dips in the park's thermal pools, their massive forms a stark contrast to the delicate beauty of the surrounding geysers and hot springs. This proximity to wildlife, while exhilarating, also comes with inherent risks. Bison, for all their seeming docility, are wild animals, and their behavior can be unpredictable. They are fiercely protective of their young, easily startled by sudden movements, and capable of inflicting serious injury with their powerful horns and hooves. Yellowstone's rangers work tirelessly to educate visitors about the importance of respecting wildlife, posting warning signs, distributing brochures, and offering guided tours that emphasize the need for caution and common sense when encountering bison. Visitors are urged to maintain a safe distance from these animals, to never approach or feed them, and to always be aware of their surroundings. The American bison, a symbol of strength and resilience, is a creature that has captured the imagination of generations. But as with all wild animals, there's a side to the bison that's best admired from a safe distance. While generally peaceful grazers, bison are equipped with a formidable set of horns, and a temper that can flare when provoked or threatened, leading to encounters that can turn dangerous in an instant. The most common cause of bison-related injuries is, unsurprisingly, human error. Getting too close for that perfect photo, attempting to pet a seemingly docile calf, or even accidentally startling a bison while hiking can have painful consequences. A bison's horns are not just for show, and a flick of its massive head can send a human flying with ease. But bison aren't always the aggressors. In some cases, their protective instincts kick in when they perceive a threat to their young, leading to charges and displays of aggression that are meant to deter potential predators. And while bison may seem slow and lumbering, they can move with surprising speed when motivated, making outrunning them a futile endeavor. Even seemingly harmless interactions can take a turn for the worse. There have been instances of people being injured while trying to help bison that appeared to be in distress, only to discover that the animal was simply resting or shedding its winter coat. The message is clear. The best way to interact with a bison is to admire it from afar, to appreciate its power and majesty without attempting to tame or control it. Remember, a wild animal is exactly that. Wild. Respect its space, observe it from a distance, and let the bison be the embodiment of the untamed spirit it represents. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the vast expanse of the American prairie, a herd of bison grazes peacefully, their silhouettes stark against the fiery sky. The scene is timeless, evocative of a time when these magnificent creatures roam the grasslands in numbers so vast that they seem to stretch to the horizon. It is a reminder of the enduring spirit of the American bison, a creature that has survived against all odds, a symbol of resilience, adaptation, and the wild heart of North America. The bison's journey has been one of both triumph and tragedy, a testament to the interconnectedness of all living things and the profound impact that human actions can have on the natural world. From its central role in the lives of Native American tribes for millennia to its near extinction at the hands of European settlers, the bison story is a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and nature, a balance that we have all too often disrupted to our own detriment. The bison's near demise serves as a cautionary tale, a stark illustration of the destructive power of greed, short-sightedness, and a disregard for the natural world. Yet its remarkable recovery, fueled by the efforts of conservationists, scientists, and Native American tribes, offers a glimmer of hope, a testament to the power of human intervention when guided by a genuine desire to right past wrongs and to restore balance to our relationship with the planet. Today, as we face a growing biodiversity crisis and the looming threat of climate change, the bison story takes on even greater significance. It reminds us that conservation is not merely an act of preserving the past, but a vital investment in the future, a commitment to safeguarding the natural world for generations to come. The American bison's recovery, though a testament to the power of conservation, is far from complete. While their numbers have rebounded from the brink of extinction, bison still face numerous challenges, from habitat loss and fragmentation to disease and the ongoing effects of climate change. Their future, like that of countless other species, hinges on our willingness to prioritize conservation efforts, to address the root causes of biodiversity loss, and to create a world where both humans and wildlife can thrive. Protecting and expanding bison habitat is crucial to their long-term survival. This means not only preserving existing grasslands, but also working to restore degraded areas, and to create wildlife corridors that allow bison to move freely across the landscape, as they did for millennia. It also means reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, which contribute to climate change, a threat that could have devastating consequences for bison and the prairie ecosystems they depend upon. Disease, too, poses a significant threat to bison populations. Brucellosis, a bacterial disease that can cause abortions in cattle and other ungulates, is endemic in some bison herds, leading to concerns about its potential spread to livestock. Finding solutions that address both wildlife health and the concerns of ranchers is essential to ensuring the bison's long-term viability. Perhaps the greatest challenge facing bison conservation is one of perception. In an increasingly urbanized world, it is easy to forget the importance of wild places and the creatures that inhabit them. We must rediscover our connection to the natural world, to recognize that the fate of the bison, like that of all living things, is inextricably linked to our own. Imagine a future where the American bison, once a symbol of the boundless wilderness, once again roams free across vast swaths of North America, its hooves beating a path across the prairie, its bellows echoing across the windswept plains. It is a future where bison are not confined to national parks and wildlife refuges, but are integrated into the landscape, their presence a testament to our commitment to coexistence, to a world where both humans and wildlife can thrive. Achieving this vision will require a fundamental shift in our relationship with the natural world. It will require us to move beyond a view of nature as a resource to be exploited, and to embrace a more holistic perspective, one that recognizes the intrinsic value of all living things and the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. It will require us to prioritize conservation efforts, to invest in scientific research, and to support policies that promote sustainable land management practices. It will require us to bridge the divide between urban and rural communities, to find common ground and shared solutions that benefit both people and wildlife. The American bison story is a testament to the power of hope, a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, positive change is possible. It is a story that calls upon each of us to become stewards of the land, to embrace the wildness that still exists within us all, and to work together to create a future where the bison's thunderous hooves continue to shake the prairie for generations to come.